Hi, these comments are for NS. I am Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. Thank you for doing your integrated speaking practice yesterday. I'm getting ready to listen to, evaluate, and score your integrated, I think it's task number 3, right? Reading, listening, speaking, academic. I have the integrated speaking rubrics here. And this is the topic and the reading passage. We have using the examples of mice and rabbits from the lecture, describe the two different types of factors that can cause population changes. Now I'm going to listen to your practice test. I'll listen to it twice.
Discusses two important factors that cause population. The reading passage discusses two important factors that cause population change. In the lecture, the professor provides example of those two factors to explain. First, biotic factors. According to the reading passage, biotic factors are the living factors, for example, predators or species that compete for food. In the lecture, the professor provides an example of owls and mice to explain. According to the professor, owls eat mice. So if there is more owl in the area, it will cause decrease in the population of mice. Second is abiotic factors. According to the reading passage, abiotic factors are non-living factors like weather or sunlight. In the lecture, the professor provides an example of rabbit to explain. According to the professor, rabbits only reproduce in the warm environment. So if there is a short winter period, it will provide more time to rabbits to reproduce. That's how the professor.
Okay, well, you got a really nice structure. So you talked kind of about you mentioned the reading passage along with the first key point, and then you compared that with the first key point in the listening. Then you mentioned the second key point in the reading passage. Likewise, you compared that to the second key point in the listening. That was a really nice structure. There's a lot of different ways to organize it, and what you did was logical, and it was very easy to see what the relationship is between the reading and the listening passage. Now, based on the IBT rubrics, I'm going to put you at least 3. I'm going to say 3.0 out of 4, at least 23 points out of 30 on this. I think you have some minor delivery, maybe some minor language use issues, but I don't know of any topic development issues at all. It's really organized and developed. All right, let's listen to it one more time.
The reading passage discusses two important factors that cause population change. In the lecture, the professor provides example of those two factors to.
So provides examples of those two factors. I would say maybe and in the listening passage, the speaker provides 2 examples. So consider using a coordinating conjunction in the beginning for the introduction so you can link the most important point from the reading and the listening passage together, and you can use that coordinating conjunction and to do that.
Explain. First, biotic factors. According to the reading passage,
I wouldn't even say first biotic factor, just say first, according to the reading passage, biotic factors are blah blah blah. There's no need to repeat that word unnecessarily.
Biotic factors are the living factors, for example, predators or species that compete for food. In the lecture,
the factors are animals that compete. Let me go back to what you just said.
Biotic factors are the living factors, for example, predators or species that compete for food.
That compete for food. So you don't need an S on competes, right? Compete needs to be plural because in that adjective clause it refers back to a plural noun.
In the lecture, the professor provides an example of owls and mice to explain.
Okay.
According to the professor, owls eat mice. So if there is more owl in the area,
if there are more owls in the area, so you want to say there are, if there are. So be careful of your subject-verb agreement. Be careful of your singular and your plural nouns.
It will cause decrease in the population of mice.
It will cause a decrease.
Mice to explain. According to the professor, owls eat mice. So if there is more owl in the area, it will cause decrease in the population of.
It will cause a decrease. I would put a and use decrease as a noun. So you have to look at that kind of as an uncount as a singular count noun. So a decrease in population.
Mice. Second is abiotic factors. According to the reading passage,
So the same thing. Excuse me. I wouldn't just state the word there. Just go secondly, according to the listening passage, blah, blah, blah.
abiotic factors are non-living factors like
Yeah, I had a little bit of trouble understanding your pronunciation there.
weather or sunlight. In the lecture, the professor provides an example of rabbit to explain. According to the professor, rabbits only reproduce in the warm environment. So if there is a short winter period, it will provide more time to rabbits to reproduce.
So if there is, let's listen.
According to the professor, rabbits only reproduce in the warm environment. So if there is a short winter period, it will provide more time to rabbits to reproduce.
I would say more time for rabbits to reproduce, not a more time to rabbits to reproduce. So sometimes your prepositions, be careful of your prepositions. What's the difference between 2 versus 4? Right? You might want to go to Google. Put what are the differences between 2 and 4 prepositions?
That's how the professor.
Okay, so I think that you really have a really nice structure. So anybody at YouTube, if you're not quite sure how to organize your response, use this one as a standard. So I think NS, you did a really good job organizing, developing your ideas. You had some problems, minor problems with either language use or delivery. So that's kind of the issue. So I'm going to put you at 3.0 out of 4, 23 points out of 30 on this practice test.